Right then, welcome back to the channel and part 2 of our M4 killer project. If you missed part 1, you're probably wondering why we're calling this M4 an M4 killer project, and that's because this M4 isn't actually an M4. So, although this might look like an M4, it's actually a 435D. It's got the 3-litre bi-turbo engine in there, 313 horsepower, mated to an X-drive system and the 8-speed ZF gearbox. And ultimately, the end goal of this project is to put it head-to-head with not just a standard M4, but also tuned M4s as well. So far, the car is pretty much how we bought it. The only thing that we've done up to now is the custom exhaust. And we've also upgraded the clocks to the LCD screen. We'll put in a before and after what that looked like, but it's a nice upgrade. The initial intro to this video was going to be a whole load of parts that we had together from the engine build, the suspension, whatever else we're going to be doing to this. I was hoping we were going to have everything lined up, but Dan, who's taking charge of this project, is eager to obviously get started. And we've got the Bilstein Club Sports here already, kindly sent to us by Bilstein UK. They've done us a really good deal on this Club Sport kit. Top shelf, we've run these before on our Mini project. All the bells and whistles, camber top mounts, two-way adjustability. We've got the rebound on there and compression, and obviously height adjustable front and rear. Also on the rear dampers themselves, that's a rose joint. So yeah, really nice bit of kit. Thank you Bilstein for sending those and doing a good deal. So the next part of this video, Dan's going to be cracking on installing this, and then in the meantime we're going to be getting all the performance parts together and we'll take a deeper look at what we're going to be doing to this project. So as you've just seen, Dan's got the Bilstein suspension fitted. We've still got the alignment and camber to set up, but he has already commented that it does drive really nice on this. Not too low that it's unusable, not too high that it's going to look stupid. So I think we've got it pretty much nailed. Now we're on to the performance upgrades. So let's go and have a look what we've got in store for this project. So we are in the product development room. Time for you guys that want to know all the technical stuff to nerd out. Thought we'd start in here and get all the parts laid out in here because, well, we're doing a lot of development work on this project. In here we've got 3D scanners, we've got 3D printers, we've got Faro arms. Yeah, there's obviously all the gear that we need to do the development work in here. So I've got Rob in here as well. Rob's been doing a lot more of the research into the parts and stuff like that on this project. So he's going to take over from me and go into a little bit more detail on the parts that we're going to be fitting on this project.
Start with intercooler. So we have already got, we'll call it a stage 1 upgrade. We don't really like to work in stages, but that's what we'll call it for this one. And you can already buy that off our website. We already know at sort of the high 400 horsepower levels, those intercoolers are getting hard pushed and inlet air temps are getting high. So we're looking at designing a completely custom intercooler setup, 63mm inlet and outlet, using this Garrett core. This core is actually rated for 750 horsepower, so it should be more than enough. That's a bar and plate design. We've already done some 3D scanning of the front end, probably clip some of that in now, and we're working on the end tanks. Not sure whether we're going to cast them or for these we might do some CNC billet end tanks, see how carried away we get. For The pipework, like I said, it's going to be 63 inlet and outlet. Coming off the original inlet manifold on the BMWs, they've got sort of a bit of a restriction where the EGR joins into the inlet and the throttle valve's located. So again, we just 3D scanned the intake, and we've created that little, just like a little raised pipe, bolt straight onto the end of manifold, and then we can come off there with our 63mm pipework. They'll be available on website shortly. Moving on from that side, obviously we've got cylinder head in pieces here and pistons. For this particular engine, because we are hoping to achieve around the 600 horsepower mark, the pistons are getting machined, so they are going to have valve cutouts. They will be getting ceramic coated, and we're also going to do a little bit of experimenting with dimples on the piston crown. We're not sure how that's going to go yet, but we'll soon find out. Moving on to the cylinder head. So this is an N57 cylinder head. As you can see, it's been cut into 3 pieces. We're obviously going to do some porting and big valves. We've obviously chopped the head up so we can see how close the ports are to the coolant galleries and what sort of material we've got to work with. The first one we'll be porting by hand. Probably have a couple of revisions of the hand porting. Hopefully any changes we make by hand, they want to be replicated by a machine, so we can, going forward, offer this service as a CNC machined head, and we're going to know exactly what the results are. We'll know that because we're going to flow test a couple of different cylinder heads with different porting, different valves. On this we've got standard valve, standard ports, so we get our baseline. We'll be looking at ported with standard valves, ported with oversized valves, and standard ports with oversized valves. At the moment, we're just looking at running a 2mm oversized inlet valve. Unsure whether we're going to go much bigger on the exhaust side of things yet. We need to get these on the flow bench and see exactly what they do to say, so we know for certain. While we're talking about the flow bench, so this little device here, you can see a few 3D printed parts. This is based on a Superflow, I think it's SF750 machine. So on here, it's a mounting for the flow bench basically. So this bolts to the flow bench. The barrel we've made there replicates the N57 84mm bore and 90mm stroke. So that'll all be bolted down. We'll probably get these CNC machined. We have spoke to a few people who think we could get away with testing on the 3D printed version, but if that doesn't work, we'll get it machined. So when you're flow testing, you always want a little sort of radius on the end of the part, so we've just made that little piece to bolt on. And again, this is another part that we're going to CNC machine. This allows us to, we bolt a DTI to this, and then we can measure in increments how much we're opening the valve and measure the flow at the same time. So from that we can develop the camshafts for optimum results basically. That's a little bit of what's going into the head development. Again, it's something we've not done a massive amount with the BMWs, and we know it's a restriction, so we're spending a little bit of time and money on getting it right. And once we've got the recipe, I suppose, that's what we'll have for sale on our website. You'll also see we've got the bi-turbo unit on the bench there. This is fully ceramic coated in the, I think it's a bronze C148. This is rated up to like 950 degrees. So it is something we can offer on customer builds, but if you want this, there's about 500 quid worth of coating on that, so it's going to be a bit of a pricey upgrade. Looks quite nice though. So up to now, again, we'll call it a stage 1 upgrade that's available on our website. Sold and fitted quite a few of them, tuned plenty of vehicles here with them on. We've achieved around 470, 475 horsepower on our dyno. We know other people with similar sized turbos that are claiming over 500 horsepower, but when you compare draggy times, they're similar or slower to what we've done on our dyno at 475 horsepower. So dyno's a measuring tool, give or take a few horsepower. This on our dyno, we're looking for over 500 horsepower diesel only. We'll also have water meth, nitrous, and possibly going forward another turbo bolted on the end of this.
Say what?
Yeah, there are a few other bits we've got going on. It's not the quickest process in the world. When you're getting other companies involved, like with the flow testing and stuff, you're at their mercy. So that's holding us up a little bit now, but hopefully coming weeks or months we'll have some more data on that. Maybe we'll do another little vlog when we go to the flow bench so you can see exactly what's involved in that process. I'll look at the rest of the bits now.
Yeah, so on to some more goodies. A little bit less technical because a lot of these parts are parts that we've already got listed on the website. We know these are working, we've fitted them to customer cars before. Some bits are just for Dan's preference, but we'll start with this side. So one of the things that it's going to need running 600 horsepower is a brake upgrade. So we've started off with F-Series M5 400mm front disc. That is 36mm thickness, and that should match nicely with the 6-pot Akabono calipers. The same that we use on our Amarok upgrade kits. So that should, with custom brackets, we're going to have to make custom brackets to make that work on the F-Series. But that should be a nice brake upgrade kit bolt on. These little things here are brake adapters for the rear. So that takes the standard M Performance rear calipers and allows you to run the M4, M2, M3 rear discs, which are 370mm. So again, nice little upgrade that we've got. The head bolts, or the head studs should I say, these are new, but we have done some testing on these already. So these are completely custom. The spec of these are pretty much the same as the ARP custom age 625s, I think they're called. So they're pretty much the best studs you're going to be able to get for the N57 engine. This pump at the back, that is to increase the oil pressure at low RPM. So that's a custom pump that we've done. ARP rod bolts, we've got injector upgrades, that's what we've already used previously. 2700 bar rail pressure sensor, M50D fuel pump. So that come on the X50Ds, 550Ds I believe, that are like 400 horsepower standard. It is an L95 pump. So to put that into perspective, that's the same pump that we fitted on the other 475 horsepower BMWs that we've done, but it should be good for well over 500 horsepower. The fuel system still might be a limitation. We'll find out when we get it on the dyno with the turbo, once we've kind of got rid of the air limitation. Race cams, again, already listed on the website, already fitted to customers' cars. We know they work pretty well. Something that we're going to be fitting to this, which we haven't done previously on customer cars, nitrous kit. So this has actually been stolen from the Arosa. If you're new to the channel and you're not sure what the Arosa is, we'll put some clips up of that. .3.5-inch intake pipe, again listed on the website. That's just wrapped in some Funk Motorsport heat wrap. Powerflex bushers, that's for the front arms, which leads on nicely to the hard race rear adjustable arms. Should be able to dial in some camber and some toe on the rear. Nice custom trim steering wheel, some nice stitching, Alcantara, nice little upgrade over the standard one. Shakespeare prop bearing carrier upgrade, so we'll try and put a clip on why that is an upgrade and the problem that you have with older prop bushers when the rubber wears and there becomes a lot of play. They get quite a bit of play in them, and when you're kind of on it, this will start wobbling around a bit. And I'm not sure if you can see it on the video, but this is actually dropped from its standard position, so it should be in the centre. It's actually dropped to the bottom, so that rubber bush is not actually doing much. And then these, well, I'm pretty sure Dan's bought these off Temu, some very cheap, nasty, fake carbon fibre flappy paddle things that, well, I know what should happen to them. So hopefully that's given you a little bit more of an insight as to where we're going with this project and the parts that we're going to be fitting on it in the very near future. But if you do want to see more of this M4 killer project, you are going to have to subscribe. But in the meantime, thanks again for watching. See you in the next one.